I don't think this man is worthy of a proper introduction, so let's just see the latest stunt that Reform are up to currently.
This is Zach Polanski, aka the Breast Whisperer.
We came to you and said, can you make my breast bigger through hypnotherapy? And you said, yes.
But mind over memory is just one of Zach's many mad ideas. As illegal migrants continue to turn up on our shores, Zach and his Green Party say they want Britain to have no borders at all. Now it's clear that the failed uni-party era is over and there is a battle for the soul of our country between Reform and the Greens. That's why today we announce an important new policy. In order to deport all illegal migrants in Britain, we're going to need to detain tens of thousands at a time. Migrants will not be able to leave these detention centres and each will be held there for a couple of weeks before being deported. So here's our promise. A Reform government will not put any migrant detention centres in any constituency with a Reform MP. We will not put them where Reform controls the council. And of the remaining areas, we will prioritise Green parliamentary constituencies and Green-controlled councils to put those migrant detention centres. That means areas like right here in Brighton. Put simply, if you vote in a Reform council or a Reform MP, we guarantee you will not have a migrant detention centre near you. However, if you vote Green, there's a very good chance that you will. This way, everyone gets what they vote for. Visit votegreengetilegals.com. Britain is broken. Britain needs reform.
I'm sorry. I genuinely don't even know what to say. It's the fucking aviators. He needs to just take it off. Get off the streets of Brighton. If you think that's bad, they have a whole website, like he said, when he was crossing his arms on the beaches of Brighton, dedicated to Vote Greens, Get Illegals. In order to support all illegal migrants in Britain, a Reform government will build detention capacity for at least 24,000 illegal migrants at a time. They will not be able to leave the detention centres and be held for a short period while they await deportation. We understand people feel strongly about living near detention sites, so we make this guarantee. Based on results from local elections and the next general election, no detention centre will be placed in any constituency with a Reform MP or in any council area controlled by Reform. Of the remaining areas, given the Green Party advocate for open borders, we will prioritise Green-held constituencies and Green-run councils to put these sites. They've published it and they've got this little search bar at the bottom where you can input your postcode and see if you're eligible for a detention centre in your area. It's really interesting. People have been trying it out and this is what happened. Gorton and Denton prioritised for detention centres. Sorry. I wonder why. Funny that. Just again, tell me you're bitter about losing the by-election without telling me that you're bitter about losing the by-election. What do they actually think they're going to achieve here, though? It just sounds so 1940s Germany. Detention centres, fucking weird. Stop people who are already voting Green isn't going to happen. And you're calling Zach Polanski breast whisperer. Like, how old is he? It just feels so playground. But the sheer authoritarian instinct behind it should really scare people, regardless of where they stand on immigration, because what's being normalised here in the lead up to the election is that the idea that state infrastructure should be distributed not according to need, practicality, or like any sort of legality or public interest, but according to partisan reward and punishment. That's fucking insane. I could rant about this on and on, but it just feels very coercive. But what makes this so terrible is that over the weekend this took place. Migrants who died in Channel Small Boat were a 16-year-old girl and a woman, says Charity. A boat carrying around 82 people ran aground on a beach in northern France, according to a local official. What's even sadder is the media framing around this. We've got this headline that says 2 women died trying to cross channel in small boat. What baffles me is that why do they keep calling a 16-year-old a woman? They're always asking about the children. A child died crossing the channel. A 16-year-old child and a woman, both of whom were Sudanese, died trying to seek refuge. Now, if you were expecting an outpouring of sympathy from the same people who ask where are the women and the girls, think again. You've got Valentina Gomez, an actual parasite. Just fucking disgusting woman, tweeted this in response. 80 illegal Muslims killed 2 women in a boat whilst illegally invading a country. They found dead on the boat. They did not drown. they were probably raped and killed. This wouldn't happen if Keir Starmer and Shabana Mahmood stopped all the boats and the luxury hotels. Shabana Mahmood likes to enforce borders on me, but not on the actual terrorists. Not her literally making this whole thing about her, fucking loser. People lapse this narrative up, but they don't realise how unsafe these journeys are. These journeys are so unsafe, how overcrowded these small boats are out of desperation. The investigations taking place and the conclusions these individuals are jumping to are utterly insane. Curtis, I'm sure you have a lot to say on this, but give me your reaction to the utter helmet that is
The helmet. Oh, God. I mean, it's just yankification slop, isn't it? I mean, the guy walking around on Brighton Beach in a full suit with aviator sunglasses, you look like a tit. And not only that, I'm pretty sure his forehead spot is desperately trying to climb out of his head. It's getting bigger and bigger. It can't escape from this man any quicker. I think this is a massive failure of a political stunt. There's so many things that don't make sense about it. And I think they themselves are patting themselves in the back going, oh, well done, lads, we got him. But there's so many things that don't make sense. First of all, obviously the message here is the Greens love open borders, so why not give them what they want? And if we're in power, we're going to put detention centres in Green constituencies. Big problem there. The Greens have never advocated for detention centres, right? Of course, they are more liberal on the border than Reform. Granted, a lot of people wouldn't agree with that. But never have the Greens said, yes, we're very, very pro-migrant, stick them in detention centres. So that doesn't make sense, right? What would make sense is actually we're going to control our borders only in certain areas, but we're going to have unlimited immigration in Green constituency areas. Of course, that's not possible to do. But like if you wanted to make that point work, that's what you would say. So it makes no sense. Secondly, they have just told the British people that they don't seek to govern for everyone. Now, you often hear from political parties or presidents that win, they say, you may not have voted for me, but I'm going to be your prime minister. I'm going to be your president. I seek to represent you. If Reform win the next election, I want them to do the best job they can for the betterment of the people. I don't think they will, but that's what I want them to do. But they're actively saying, no, we are not going to govern for everyone. In fact, we're going to use the state against our political enemies. And actually, it's not even political enemies. It's voters. It's not like saying, if we're in power, we're going to punish Green politicians. They're literally saying, if you're a Green voter, we're going to punish you. Now, of course, the right wing are saying, aha, punish? Does that mean you've suddenly realised the contradiction here? Again, it's not left wing. It's not progressive, and it's certainly not Green Party policy to support detention centres. So it's not a contradiction. So yes, we can still say you're punishing people. And also for the Reform voters in Gorton and Denton, for example, or the Reform voters in which a Reform MP doesn't win, but they vote to Reform, do you think that's going to make them happy or piss them off? They're going to be like, right, they're now building a detention centre by my house. I don't want that. I specifically voted against that. Yet my MP and the party I voted for has specifically said, you're going to get one because the seat went Green. So they're not winning any votes. They're probably losing votes. The only way this could work is if they were to win Green votes, because obviously if the Green returns an MP, that means they got the highest amount of votes. That means to win it next time, you need to find some Green voters. And do you think Reform saying, by the way, I'm going to put a detention centre in your constituency because you're my political enemy, do you think that Green vote is going to turn around and be like, I think I'll vote Reform next time? Like, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. What this is complete desperation. Look, call me old-fashioned, but why can't political parties win people over and win their hearts and minds of people? The Green Party's doing it. Granted, not all their policies you will support. Not all their policies in terms of immigration, for example. It's a contentious issue, especially in this climate. But the Greens are saying unapologetically, we're going to defend migrants. We're also going to abolish land laws. We're going to raise the minimum wage. We're going to nationalise our public services. And they're just simply going, this is our policy platform, take it or leave it. Reform clearly are not confident in their own political or their policy platform, that they have to do gimmicks in which they're literally bribing voters by saying, if you vote for the Greens and the Greens win, we're going to do something bad to you. That is not just stupid, but also incredibly dangerous. And it's out of the Trump playbook. Again, these people should not be anywhere near the state when they're literally saying that potentially millions of ordinary people who happen to vote a different way is their political enemy. But look, the Reform Party have completely lost their source. Once upon a time, they were polling in 30%, 33%. And that was because, at the very least, they had some kind of niche that worked, which was civic nationalism, harsh on borders, which, again, there's a lot of people like that in this country, but also recognized that people are economically left-wing. People want wealth taxes, despite what the outriders against Gary Stevenson say. People want nationalisation of public services. People want a rise in minimum wage. People want action on the climate. People want an end to austerity and more investment. That's what people want. And Reform were polling really, really high when they said, we're not going to support the two-child benefit cap. We are going to nationalise water. And they pretended to say, we are a break from austerity. And then, because obviously they're the party backed by the oligarchs, by the billionaires. I mean, they've received £12 million from Christopher Harbon, who's a Thai resident, so they love their foreign money. They pretend to be nationalists, but they love that foreign money. They were never going to bring in left-wing or centre-left economic policies, despite the fact that the majority of people in the country want it. They were never going to do that. But they exposed themselves too quickly. Now they've said they do support the two-child benefit cap. Now they've gone backwards on their nationalisation policy. Now they even said, whilst I disagree, their populist stance of we're going to cut taxes across the board. Nigel Farage said late last year, well, the economy is so stuffed, we can't do that either. So all they're doing is parroting the political establishment's line of austerity. We're not going to nationalise public services, and we're going to keep the two-child benefit cap. So you're literally no different to the Conservatives and Labour.
You know what? Reform, do it. Do it. Build a detention centre in a place where you have no power. Like, try get around that, honestly. They'll still be walking up and down Brighton Beach saying, we wanted this, and this is now a green place. Like, yeah, get out. Get the fuck out. And also, wanted you here in the first place.
What they haven't thought about as well is they're saying, oh, it's going to happen in green areas. Okay, so green controlled areas, green controlled councils. So they're going to vote it down. The Greens are like, yeah, we're not going to support this. Like,
exactly.
Even on their own merits, it doesn't make sense. So you can't say we're going to put detention centres in green constituencies and green councils when the Green Party control the council and they're going to be like, yeah, we're obviously not going to vote for this. So it just makes them look utterly stupid. There is no world in which this works. Of course, a bunch of right-wingers on Twitter like, this is masterful. It's shown the hypocrisy of the Greens. It really hasn't. It just shows them that they're a bunch of fucking idiots. They have they've lost their political source. And my God, please get Tsar Yusuf off the screen. He looks like such a tit, right? He looks like such a fucking dweeb.
Proper dweeb, like such a dweeb, man. No, it's true. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, how you actually do it? Like, try build a detention centre in a place where you have no control. Like, you won't be able to do it anyway. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. Keep those aviators on because it's clouding your sense of judgment. Anyway.